Welcome to my YouTube channel Learning Grounds. I hope all of you are enjoying my videos, and if you are doing so, please do like, share and subscribe it. Till now we have studied various contents on various topics both in English and biology. Today I am again going to continue with one another piece of creative writing, that is your formal letter writing. Till now we have already studied about informal letter formats and email writing formats. And talking about the formal letter, again the format of writing formal letter is a bit different from informal and email writing. So today we are going to discuss the format of formal letter. So let's begin. Before I begin the format of formal letter, let's know what is a formal letter and what is the need to write it. In informal letter, we have seen that we write letters to friends and relatives, and as a result, there is no limitations for the content. But when we talk about formal letter should be very formal. Why? Because these are the letters written to officials. We write formal letter for various purposes like business, application, complaint letters, sending invitation to someone, replying the invitation, you can say even for enquiry purpose. So letters are written for various purpose and that follows a particular formal format. So that is what today we are going to study. So let's begin. Here is the format of your formal letter, which includes sender's address, date, receiver's address, salutation, subject, content and subscription. So let's begin how to write a formal letter. Just like the informal letter and emails, formal letters are also written in two patterns. One is your traditional method, which had been followed long time back, and another is your box format, which is a recently introduced format. Since we all are adapted to writing letters on mobile phones and laptops, this format, the box format becomes more convenient to use. In your traditional format, the sender's address, date and the subscription all are written on the right side of the page, whereas the receiver's address, salutation and content are written on the left side of the page. But in box format, the entire format begins from the margin. So today we are going to study the box format of formal letter. How to write a formal letter in a box format. So beginning with sender's address. Let's see how sender's address are to be written in the box format. Whenever we talk about sender's address, it is to be written in 3 lines with proper punctuations. Since we are studying about the ICSE board syllabus, so your punctuation or the format will be in accordance with ICSE board syllabus. So sender's address are to be written in 3 lines, which includes your house number or house name in the first line. The first line of sender's address should include the house number and the name of the house, whichever you have. If you have house number, just write down house number. If you have only the name of the house, write down only the name of the house. And if you have both, write down both. Second is the name of the lane where you live, like your cross lane. Then comes your city and pin. Pin is very important. Without pin, please do not write any sender's address. So let's see the example how to write the sender's address. 26 Lake Avenue. 26 is the number of the house and Lake Avenue is the name of the house. End the line with a comma. Cross lane, name of the lane. Again end with a comma. Then city, Gorakhpur, and pin is 273001. End with a full stop. Now here the points to remember is each line should end with a comma, and the last line where you are writing the city and pin should end with a full stop. It is not necessary that you know the pin of whichever area you are writing. The pin should consist of 6 digits. That is what you have to keep in mind. You can write down any pin consisting of 6 digits and name of the city where you stay, or the city also can be any imaginary city. No one is going to match a city and pin, so be relaxed for that purpose. Name of the city and the pin. Next comes your date. Here also we are going to leave one line after each step. So this line which is drawn is for the purpose of leaving one line. Next comes your date. Again, when we talk about date, no date word is to be written. The word date should not be written. You can directly write down 27th October 2000. You can put any year. Let's put 22. Sorry, 22 is yet to arrive. So 2021 and with a full stop. Again, the same way that we have been following in your previous letters. Numeral followed by a suffix, month in full followed by comma, year and a full stop. After this, again leave one line and write down the receiver's address. This receiver's address is again written in 3 lines. The first line comprises of the designation to whom we are writing the letter. That is your designation. Like suppose we are writing, today we are going to study about letter to an editor. Suppose we are writing a letter to an editor regarding any particular problem that we are facing and get that problem published in the newspaper. So your designation will be the editor. Both capital. The is very important. The is to be written. Do not write to the editor. That is wrong. Do not write to the editor. To is not required. Directly write down the designation. The editor, the T capital, and the designated person, first letter capital, comma. Next step is your name of the institute. Next is your name of the institute or the organization. You can also write the name of organization, institute or organization. So we are writing letter to the editor. Definitely the name will be the newspaper. So write down the Hindustan Times. You can write to any newspaper. Okay. Then last is your city and pin again. So we will continue with the same. In our city only I have this office. So I will write down the same city. The city can be different, but when you are changing the city, please do remember to change the pin. So I am not going to change the city or pin. So in my close by area only I have the newspaper's office. So no change in my city or pin. It can be same. So no need to worry about that. So now here are some more examples of your recipient's address.
As we know, formal letter is written to various person for various purposes. So now we have studied about the recipient address, where a letter is written to the editor. Suppose I write the letter to schools or colleges. So what should be the address? For this, we should know who is the head of the school or college. For the school, it's the principal, and for the college is the chancellor or the vice chancellor. So what will I do? I will write down the head of the school as the principal for the designation, and then name of the school. Same way, if I have to write the letter to the college, who will be the head? The chancellor or the vice chancellor. So the chancellor or the vice chancellor will become the designated person, and instead of name of the school, I will write down the name of the college, and this will be followed by city and pin. Same way I have for libraries. We often write letters to librarians, either to get my book issued or to submit the book. So what will I do? I will write the designation as the librarian, and now this library is whether in your school or there's a separate library in your city. Depending on that, I will write the name of the school or the library in the city. Again followed by city and pin. The steps remain same. There's no change in the step. Now coming to the shops. Now why do we need to write letters to the shopkeeper? Sometimes what happens, we have purchased a particular item and there's some defect in it. So in order to complain, we write letters to the shopkeeper. Or suppose we are at the shop and due to some reason we have forgotten something at the shop. So in order to inquire about that, we write letters. So there can be any purpose for writing letter. What we need to pay attention is to the designated person. Whom are we going to write the letter to? So for shops, we are going to write the letter to the proprietor. Proprietors are the owners of the shop. Either you write down the shopkeeper or the proprietor. Proprietor is a more appropriate term. Then comes the name of the shop, again followed by city and pin. We also write letters to the post offices. So there, the head is the postmaster. So the designated person is your postmaster, followed by the name of the post office, city, pin. Then for banks, or suppose I am applying for any particular kind of post, there the person to whom I will address is the manager. Name of the bank or name of that particular company, followed by city and pin. For health issues, we write letter to the CMOs or the health officer. The address is the name of the PSC center or the hospital, followed by city and pin. Now the letter for the administrative work. For administrative work, we generally write letters to the district magistrate. That is your DM, HDM or ADM. They generally sit in the collectorate. So simply write down the collectorate, name of the city and the pin, and the letter will reach them. So this is how you can write all the different types of addresses for different kinds of formal letters for various purposes.
Next comes your salutation. Again for salutation, you will leave one line and write down Dear Sir or Dear Madam. Do not write Dear Mr. So and so sir. We have already discussed this in previous video. You can go through that and understand it, especially in email. We have discussed it in detail about the salutation. So just mention Dear Sir or simply Sir or Madam. And with a comma, end line punctuations are very important. Please do not forget about it. Okay. Then comes your subject. Again leave one line and write down the subject. Now coming to subject, you can write the word subject. If you don't wish, you can exclude also. It's totally upon you. So subject can be written as SUB, or it can be written as SUB JECT full form, or you can also write regarding RE or regarding and then write down the subject, and or without any kind of introduction, just write down the subject. So subject, request to publish an article regarding the noise menace in my locality. Now when you get the question, your question reads, write a letter to an editor of the Hindustan Times. This receiver's address is already mentioned in your question. So you can just note down from there. So write a letter to an editor of the Hindustan Times regarding the noise menace in your locality. Question reads your locality. But when you are writing the subject, in subject you are going to mention about my locality. Do not write your locality there. You will lose marks. Your locality means request to publish an article regarding the noise menace in your locality means the editor's locality, and we are not concerned about his locality, we are concerned about our locality. So do not write your locality. Be very careful. This is the most common mistake a student does. They just copy down the passage from the question paper. You do copy down, but please do not write your locality. Just like we say, what is your name? Your answer is my name. You don't say your name. So same conversion takes place here also. We are not going to use your locality. We are going to use my locality. I hope this is clear to you. You have to be very careful about the subject and use of this pronoun in the subject. There are many common errors which a student does during the examination, which we have been talking about over a long period of time and in various topics. So I hope the method of writing subject is clear to all of you. Then coming to the content part. Again, when I talk about content is to be written in 3 parts. First is your introduction, then is your body, and third is your conclusion. Just like in formal letter and emails, here also we have to write content in 3 paragraphs. It's better you make small paragraphs so that it becomes easier for you to express your views. Now coming to introduction, what is to be written in introduction? Introduction is generally a request related to your subject. Then body includes all the problems that you are facing, and if at all you have any solution, mention the solution also at the end of the body part. And then conclusion is a kind of it's a kind of leave taking where you repeat your request once again and ask the authorities to take the suitable step, whatever is required. So that is your concluding part. Now how to write introduction, body and conclusion, that also we will see in detail. Coming to body is entirely based on your question, whatever question is asked in your question paper. So beginning with introduction. Now there are many ways of writing introduction. So here are some of the introductory lines that you can use for your formal letter. Like, with due respect, I would like to state that, as I have said, formal letter language should be very formal. So you can begin any kind of letter with this opening, that is, with due respect, I would like to state that. After that, you can put on your problems, you can put on your complaints, you can mention about the issues that you are writing the letter for. All this can be written with the same opening. Another way of opening the letter is directly introduce yourself. I, so and so, write your name here. Of so and so locality, write the area here. Wish to state that. And again continue with the topic that you are going to write the letter for. One more way of introducing yourself in a formal letter is through the column of your esteemed newspaper. I would like to draw the kind attention of the concerned authorities towards the dash in my locality. Here you will mention about your problems. This opening is very common to the letters to the editor. If you are writing the letter to the editor, to the newspaper, in such cases you can begin your formal letter with this opening. It's a very attractive opening, drawing the attention of the concerned authorities. Another way of writing the letter, the introduction of the letter is, this is to bring to your kind notice. Such openings can be given if you are writing the letter directly to the concerned authorities. Like suppose you have a garbage accumulated in your area. So you can write letter to the PWD department or the CMOs or the health officers, health minister. In such cases, you can use this beginning. Suppose there is a noise menace. In that case also you can use this beginning. So this is to bring to your kind notice that and put on your problems can be an effective way of introducing yourself. Then it is with great anguish that I write this letter. Anguish, anger, frustration. This is a common opening for complaint letters. If you have a complaint, as one example I gave you for garbage accumulation, spread of epidemic in your area, or noise menace, the ditches in your area, the holes on the roads, the accidents, the stray animals, means any kind of problem that you have, in such cases you can use this opening. This opening is also meant for writing letters directly to the officers, to the concerned authorities. This is your introduction, the first paragraph of your letter. Then coming to the body part, that is your main letter that you are going to write. And this body is directly concerned with the topics or the questions that are given in your question paper. So according to the question paper, according to the question asked, frame the body of your letter in small paragraphs. Here, first mention the problems. All the problems that you have, mention it in detail. Then if you have any suggestions, you can mention your suggestions too, so that you have a problem along with the suggestions ready, and if it is possible for the authorities, they can work on those suggestions. So if you have suggestions, you can mention it. If you have number of problems, do mention it in point wise. First, it gives a neat presentation, and secondly, all the points are, since step by step, it's easy to go through all those points and know your problems. Same way, if one or two suggestions are there, you can write it in paragraph, or if you have numerous, that also you can go point wise. But if you are writing paragraphs, be careful. The paragraph should be very short and small. Means not more than 5 to 6 lines each paragraph should be. Then coming to the conclusion. These are your concluding lines. I request you to publish an article regarding the problems mentioned above. This kind of conclusion can be used for your letters to the editor. I hope the concerned authorities will make a note of it and solve the problems as soon as possible. This can be for any kind of letter. It can be for business letter, it can be for the complaint letters. Any kind of letter, you can use this concluding line. Or you can also write, I'll be highly obliged if I'll be highly obliged if the matter is sorted out, if the matter is looked into, or if suitable actions are taken. Any kind of ending that you can give, but be obliged, be thankful to them. You can use thankful, you can use grateful, you can use obliged, but use any one. Don't use all the three. So I'll be highly obliged if the matter is sorted out, if the suitable action is taken. Last comes your subscription. Subscription, yours faithfully, Y capital, F small, comma at the end, and your full name. Just like in email we write full name, here also we will write down full name. But in informal letter, we write only the first name, even pet name. But here, only formal introduction, means write down your full name. Suppose signature is required, so in bracket you will write down your full name. But full name has to be there. So this is all about your introduction, body, conclusion and your subscription. With this, we come to an end of the letter writing. See you in the next video with one more creative writing. Goodbye. Bye-bye.